Hello, everyone. I'm here with Richard Griffin, the writer director of Disorienting Dick. Uh, Fantastic, fun film. It's playing at a special late night screening at the Shawnee Film Festival at Thursday, September 21st at 9:30 p.m. That's late night for us, and it's going to be at the Hilton Garden Inn in Worcester. So excited to have you with us, Richard. You're a Shawnee Film Festival favorite. And the current film, Disorienting Dick, it's about a gay man who doesn't quite realize he's gay yet, but his mom does, and sends him basically to conversion therapy at the Hippocampus Institute, where they hope to make him a right-wing political candidate. How did you come up with this idea? Where was it?
So I wrote the script, the first few drafts with my writing partner Robin Guilford, and we started writing it during the first weeks of the pandemic and lockdown, and we basically said, let's write something with the knowledge that probably no one will ever see it. So we're going to write the craziest thing ever, and we wrote about 4 or 5 drafts. And then finally, the vaccine came along, and I brought in a friend of mine, Daniel Martins, and he did the final draft of the script. And it just really was the environment at the time. It just, once again, this kind of upswing of extreme right wing hatred was coming in. And, we wanted to really satirize people like Laura Boebert and so having a female antagonist, was great. And so it was just really us, the three of us, bouncing the weirdest ideas we could think of, and just it was a lot of fun.
Well, all of that shows on the screen. In fact, one of the things I was going to ask you about, I think there's a lot of words that could be used to describe your filmmaking style, but shy isn't one of them. And I wanted you to talk about that. What do you consider to be your filmmaking style, and who were your inspirations?
So my filmmaking style, I think, changes from movie to movie. I think it's always kind of, it's the best tool for the job kind of attitude. So this film is shot very much. I mean, my big inspirations as a filmmaker are animators like Chuck Jones and Frank Tashlin, Ralph Boschke. And so this, I really wanted to look like a live action cartoon. And it is, very vibrant. It's very bright. It's, very kind of almost like comic book frames in the very traditional sense of it. So for this film, it was definitely, I said, my kind of animator director influences at work. So
Yeah,
yeah.
you can see that the film, when you all see the film, it's loaded with bright primary colors. Yeah, exactly like a comic book. Looks great. Um, so all of your actors do a great job, and they seem to be totally in tune with your crazy vision. So how do you find and direct actors who to make sure that everybody's on the same page when you make a crazy film like this?
The one thing is, when I send a script out for actors to look at, it's not just so much, if they want to do it, but why they want to do it. And basically, the whole thing is you want to make sure that people aren't just doing this. So, well, it's another project. It's another notch on my my acting bedpost. That they have to be cool with what you're doing, because I mean the movie is pretty extreme in terms of its content, and not just even the nudity, but just overall, it's really big. So basically, really making sure that they you know feel in tune with the content of it. And so we had a rehearsal process for the film. Obviously, we were kind of in between COVID variants when we finally found the gap to shoot the movie in. So it allowed us some time to actually rehearse it online and just kind of get everyone and make sure everyone is comfortable and discuss what's in it. And the whole thing is you want people who are going to be as game as possible, and not be like, oh boy, I don't know, this is a little much. But luckily, a lot of times there are people I've worked with time and time again, like Graham Stokes, who plays Dick Whiteman. is someone I've worked with repeatedly, and I know going in that it's like Graham has no limits as an actor. So the script was really written for him. It was one of
Okay.
the rare incidences where I've actually, kind of formed a script around a single actor. And it was just, I just knew Graham was kind of perfect for it, because, on the outside, he's a very kind of GQ looking, young man and whatnot. So he looks like he, all proper and could be very, from a proper Republican family. But inside, there's a lot of craziness. So he was perfect. Everyone was, but as I said, the
Yeah.
movie was structured around Graham.
No, he does a great job. And one of the things I loved about the film is you call it extreme, and it is in a way very in a very funny way, perfect for a late night screening. But you managed to find in most of these characters, good or bad, some center of humanity. Was that a conscious goal of yours as you were writing the screenplay?
It's weird because I wouldn't say it was a conscious goal, but the one thing I've had said about my movies is that they're incredibly non-judgmental of all of their characters, even if they're the villains. It's like everyone. Some people are pure evil through and through, but some people, nothing is ever that black and white. And it was because the tone of the film was so comic book, and I felt like having gone out of the pandemic, moving away from it, we really needed something very optimistic. And I think it's the most optimistic film I've ever directed. And it was just basically like kind of everyone gets a little bit of a break, except for the real bad. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think everyone gets what they deserve in the movie. So, but I
All
said
right.
I try to be non-judgmental towards most of the characters. I said there's some people who are evil through and through, but you try to show a lot of different sides to make it interesting.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. So you've got Disorienting Dick now. What's coming up next for you?
We are actually filming a movie called Pansy Vision, which is a fake documentary about the history of Hollywood from 1896 to 1993.
Hmm.
If the queer community was always out, always accepted, and making movies from the beginning, what would film have looked like? So it's basically like a fusion of that's entertainment mixed with like history of the world part one.
Oh
So
wow.
it is a wild ride. It goes through. I said we have film noirs. We have old dark house movies from the 1930s. We just run through the whole spectrum, and it has been a very challenging movie to make, but it's been incredibly rewarding too. So we're
Yeah. Oh,
looking forward.
can't wait to see that one. Sounds fantastic. But I want to encourage everyone out there to see this one, Disorienting Dick. It's a ton of fun. It's the kind of film that you're probably not going to see at your local AMC. It's something that is perfect for the Shauna Shane Film Festival, and Richard is going to be at the screening to answer questions after the viewing. So we're excited about that. And again, it's showing Thursday, September 21st. 9:30 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Worcester. So, Richard, thanks so much for being here. It's a great film. Can't wait to see the next one. And best of luck to you.
Thank you, Patrick.